Good morning, and welcome back to the Rebel Roast Morning
Good
Show.
morning.
Woo! You are looking
Good
fresh and
morning.
better than ever. You look
Am
beautiful
I
today. I'm so excited to be
totally
back
sexy?
on stream with you.
Yeah.
First night in the house. How are you feeling, brother?
Feeling a lot better. Like I'm gonna say I'm 90% there. You can still hear it a little bit, but I'm
Yeah,
almost
and
there.
the truth is, I can actually see it. You look terrible. You might need another couple of
Thank you.
days off. I don't
Yes.
know.
No, I'm feeling much better. I mean, it was really bad. I I couldn't breathe for days. So
I
yeah,
hear
but
you.
feeling a lot better. Gonna start taking care of more of my body and stuff like that, like taking more supplements and things like that. Started taking methylene blue yesterday.
Methylene blue, is that like petroleum? Sounds like gasoline. What
Yeah,
is that?
something like that. This is methylene blue.
Is that
It's
cleaning
it's like a
fluid?
big thing. I did a lot of research on it. JFK Jr. takes it. Like, obviously, you have to be careful with it, and you have to do your own like research. But so far today, I actually feel like more focus. I can't give you like a long term thing yet. It could be anything else, but I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next coming weeks or so.
You gonna
But
add some
I
bone
do
broth
feel
into your
better.
diet?
Huh?
You gonna add some bone broth into your diet?
No, I'm not gonna do bone broth like you did.
Bro, you
But
need that bone broth.
I am gonna go all water from now on.
Ooh,
No
okay.
soda, no juice, no
Wait, does that
try not
mean
to have
no
sugars.
coffee for the roast show?
No, no coffee for
Oh
the
boy.
roast show. Just my methylene blue. It's chilling. But I mean, technically, I'm gonna start taking this like around 5:30 in the morning. As soon as I wake up, just
Yeah.
3 drops in 16.5 ounce of water.
Okay.
For now, it's a very low dose, just to see what happens, how my body reacts to it. So we'll take it from there. I do take AG1 made with.
You take AG1, right?
I do take AG1, yeah.
There you
So
go.
I'm gonna
Thank you,
implement
Josh.
AG1 in there too.
He's getting that bone broth one way or another.
Yeah, I just want to apologize now because I'm gonna be coughing throughout the show, but it's just again like I don't have my lungs are not at 100% capacity yet, but I'm getting there. It was
All right.
bad.
We have closed the battle. The battle is closed. So we will run a battle at the end of this show. And we're going to give out some more money, another $50 prize for today's winner. We'll distribute $50. And then we move into the pricier, the more valuable rounds. We'll move into $75 rounds for the battles, or
Ooh.
$75 battles for round 2. So let me ask you a question, First Night.
What's up?
You were sick. You were out of the game. You were out of the loop
Dying.
for like
Yep.
a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Crypto, there's things happening every day, but maybe none of it actually matters in the
I
long
know
run, right?
absolutely nothing of because let me tell you something. This is probably the first time I've opened my laptop in
Yeah.
like 2 weeks.
But I feel like, even when you step away for a few days and you come back, you're like, yeah, things happened, but maybe nothing actually happened, like nothing
Yeah.
nothing life-changing happened. I mean, what's your feeling right now? Do you need to, go back through all the news cycles and figure out, or you're just going to catch up and just kind of pick up the wave where we are now?
No, I think I'm gonna just catch up, pick up the wave, see what happened.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks. I mean, I have a lot of people that DM me like information and stuff like that. It's just I'm really behind on like info and stuff like that because I wasn't trying to grab my phone too much while I'm
Right.
in bed and taking meds and stuff. And sometimes when I take the meds, I just go straight to sleep. Like it just knocks me out, or it was knocking me out. Yesterday was the last round of meds. I still have like this steroid thing that I have to take for my lungs, but whatever. It's almost done. But I think starting maybe today or tomorrow, I'm really gonna like hone in on what's happening in the crypto world. Go
Nice.
back into the messages and try to
You're gonna catch
look at
up?
the history and catch up. Yeah, see
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah, I would love to
Plus
hear
our own project. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
It's the methylene blue, bro. I'm just super laser focused right now. No, I'm kidding. But
Are we gonna see some influence of that in V3, in the V3 collection? You're drinking it while you're drawing, and it was like, oh boy.
I didn't even
Really
pick up
the,
my iPad to draw this last 2 weeks, which is really depressing. But I think what I'm gonna do is that obviously the last 2 weeks I haven't really worked on our project a lot either. So I've been kind of letting you like I've seen you post and stuff like that a couple times. I know it's not your thing, but
I'm trying to be present daily.
you're trying to be present, yeah,
trying.
no, which is good. It's more of my thing to be posting and doing all the crazy shit out there. But
Yeah.
since I haven't been able to do that, I got to get back on that grind.
Speaking of grind, how about that coffee? No, I'm kidding. What was I going to ask you? What was I saying before you cut me off?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. There was a what was I was listening to a Spaces yesterday, and Space Kitty was talking, and it was this discussion about how many projects are you like actually active in,
Mhm.
and I wanted to hear what your thoughts were on that.
Like
How many
me
projects?
myself,
Yeah, like how many discords are you actively in? Like you're talking daily. You're
I'm not talking like I'll venture in and say hello everybody, like stuff like that. Like I'll venture, like I'll just go in once in a blue and say hello and show my face, but I'm not like actively in there having conversations unless I'm fully invested in that
right.
particular project. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I do have a lot of projects where I'm in because I just buy a bunch of NFTs all the time.
yeah. So, we have 33 people watching right now. I'm sure we'll get to like 300 within the next
Yeah,
45
we're a
minutes
little
or so.
rusty
But
today. What's going on?
I would love to hear from everyone. How many discords are you active in daily? What I was thinking as I was listening to that space is that like
Mhm.
it's sort of a zero sum game where it's like if I go into one, it's probably because I'm leaving another one. It's not that I don't know that anyone could just keep adding more and more communities and discords that they're active in, right? Like at some point, it sort of does become the zero sum game where it's like, okay, if I'm gonna start chatting in the Saints of LA more, I'm gonna be chatting less in something else, and I don't know, maybe I'm just not good at it, but even those people who do it full time, like you can't be everywhere at once, especially when new
No, no, you
projects
can't.
are
Yeah.
happening or you're joining new communities. So I feel like that's a problem for the space. That it's like the zero sum game, zero
Yeah, it's
sum
it's really
game.
hard. I mean, I'm really glad that we have the team that we have too, because obviously being sick is not easy to do what you want to do right throughout the day. Like there was times where I would get up, grab my phone, and be like, "All right, today's the day," and then like 2 seconds later,
Today's the day.
I'm knocked out already again from taking medicine.
Yeah,
But good thing that we have people like Retro. Shout out to him and Jilly. Shout out to her too in our Discord that keep the momentum going. Because honestly, this week, these last 2 weeks, I've been like totally, completely out of it.
yeah. I think it was Jilly that was running the games, right? She was
Yeah,
running
yeah,
the art
yeah,
games. Those were fun. It was really honestly my first time participating in those. I think
yeah.
it's I don't know how these games work, so I'm always like, I'm not gonna try.
That's because you're
But
sick
I
at
just
this
like got
point.
in the channel. I'm like, all right, let's just see how to do it, and it's
Yeah.
fun.
No, they definitely are fun. I mean, I do get some DMs from certain people that are like, "Oh, these games are cool. They're fun. They keep the interaction going, which is good."
Yeah,
They're, those guys are good.
yes, definitely appreciate
Yeah.
our team keeping us moving along and staying active and relevant. Um, Joff says, I don't think I'm active in any present and GM in probably 5 to 10 a day. Yeah. So not even active. I mean, Joff's got his own thing
Mhm.
going on, so I could see, where you got to prioritize that. And I think, for anyone who has their own project, like you have to prioritize that, right?
Mhm.
So then you're kind of stepping away from others.
The problem is that in order for your project to also take off, you have to be involved with other projects at the same time, especially in the NFT world,
Yeah, it's all
right?
networking. It's all networking.
It's all networking, it's all meeting people, so you wanna have that presence there too.
Can I get your opinion on something?
Sure.
As you know, I've, spent most of my crypto in all the wrong times and all the wrong places, but I'm
Mhm.
still holding on to an ETH, like one ETH. I'm wondering, ETH doesn't move a lot. Do you think
You're
I'm
holding on
better
to
off?
1 ETH?
I'm holding on to one ETH. Do you think I'm better off putting that ETH into a Lil Pudgy?
Yes.
Like, is that gonna increase in value more than ETH will go up?
Um, sorry, at the moment, probably, in the next few years, probably, yeah. I think the best investment you could do is probably put it into a little one, to a little
Into a
pudgy
little,
for now,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm just like ETH isn't moving. Other things are moving
No,
for
that
better or worse. They're
ecosystem is
moving up
really
and
growing a
down.
lot.
ETH is just kind of chilling, and it's like, am I not taking advantage of that asset right now? I
Yeah.
should put in something that actually has some momentum behind it, something that's moving.
Yeah, no, that ecosystem actually it's really good. I mean, obviously we've always talked about Luca and Pudgy and
Yeah,
all the stuff that they're doing. I mean, actually, believe it or not, too, like you could go into Doodles too. Doodles is releasing their coin on the 9th, I believe. I
I
read
saw
that
the dude.
earlier
Yeah,
today.
dollar sign dude.
Yeah, so I'm in there. I'm fully invested in Doodles. You know what I mean? Like we got to see how that goes too as well. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be like every other coin. It's gonna go,
Yeah,
up and then tank and whatever, and then we'll see what they do with it. But at the same time, I think that they're doing things a bit differently. I'm not sure of the schematics 100%, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, either of those two projects, I think that you're safe in, either Pudgy or Doodles.
Yeah. All right. I might move some things around. You know how it is.
Yeah,
Um, can I share a non-crypto frustration with you?
sure.
I don't know what's up with Spotify, but they like eliminated their music yesterday. Like you couldn't find music
I saw
anymore.
that message you put out.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Uh,
share my screen, just show you what I'm talking about
yeah.
because it's like, how does this happen? But they've,
How
I
you
think
been, by the way? I haven't really even seen you or talked to you in like in like 2 weeks. How's
I'm good.
everything?
I'm good. Trying to catch up on life and trying to keep up with the kids and the schedule and the work and all that jazz. But
Mhm.
try to get up early sometimes to work on some Riverland stuff. That's when
Yeah.
I'm most active. Is between the hours of 4 and 6:30 a.m.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, so let's go over here. Let's screen share. I'm gonna screen share my window. Okay, so this is the video I posted yesterday. Now, can I post? Okay, when you're in Spotify, you see you have this music tab. It
Mhm.
usually shows you like the singles, latest releases, albums, and then it gets into
Yeah,
the about or other playlists.
they changed the whole interface?
It just wasn't here yesterday. There was no music. There was no way to find an album yesterday, right?
That's
Like
weird. Mhm.
the featuring and then go straight to clips and about. It just wasn't there. But then this morning I checked and it was there. So look at this. So the music, you'll see when this restarts. This is what it's supposed to be like. You're supposed to see the popular and
Yeah.
then the albums. And then it gets into the featured. This was just gone yesterday. What's up with that? How does Spotify not have music available?
So Hans said, sorry, but one ETH will neither give you a Pudgy nor a Doodle, but buy 3 Jirasan. I agree with him.
Actually, you know what? I might do that.
Yeah,
I
I
kind of
agree
like
with
that
him.
idea. Let's switch over here. I don't disagree with that, Hans. I think I might do that. I think it can only help. I might be a little late to the game with the RDEC claim, but I still got one. I'll still get some RDEC when they release.
Yeah, oh, look,
Um,
it's our tip QR code. It's still there.
do you think there's any money in there? I don't think so.
I don't know. I haven't checked that
I've
since
never checked out. I think
you
it's
put
time
it.
to get rid of it. I'm gonna get rid of it. Goodbye. Goodbye.
No, no, don't get rid of it. Leave it. What are you
Oh my
gonna
god,
do?
it's so
Just,
embarrassing.
just leave it. It's fine. You never
Fine.
know. You never know.
Well, we don't check it either, so we'll definitely never know.
That is
We'll
true.
never know. You should
Good
have used like my wallet or something. Your boy needs a new pair of shoes.
point.
Do it now, live.
Oh, buy the
Ooh.
Jira's live.
You
Ooh,
know
it
what, Retro?
comes
Let
from
me
retro.
let me get ready to do it on the next show because right now my ETH is sitting in Coinbase, and
Wait, are you gonna even be able to move it from Coinbase?
well, I'm just going to transfer it. I know I can transfer
Mhm.
crypto. I don't know about withdrawing.
I don't understand why Coinbase gives you such a hard time. I
They give
never
a
had
lot
a
of
hard
people.
time.
I've been seeing a lot of posts of people fighting with Coinbase.
I've never had an issue with Coinbase.
Giving them all the KYC stuff that they need, and it just
The only issue I
I
have with
mean,
Coinbase is that I want them to sponsor us, and they haven't done that.
yeah. So retro, I will do it on the next show. I'm going to move my ETH out of Coinbase into my MetaMask. That way, I can purchase an NFT, or I'll move it into my Coinbase wallet, and then I'll purchase from there.
Yeah,
So I appreciate the thought, Hans. I'm all for it. And how much is that going for now? What was the sit around point two
I don't know.
three?
Do you want to do a round of what's out there right now between like Saints and everybody?
I don't
Us,
even know how to pull it up because it's you can't search
Magic
for it.
Eden. Oh,
You
is
can't
Magic
search for it
Eden?
on Magic Eden. Let me
Jirasan
see.
should come
It
up.
might be hot. It might be hot. It might be hot. So let's look. I did want to look at this post from a couple of days ago
Mhm.
from Serini. It's a bit of a long one, but it's talking about the Jirasan and RDAC. This is from April 25th. But yeah, let's go see if we can pull up something on Magic Eden from ETH.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with their search bar. I don't know.
No, what's even better is that this is just a looping carousel. This isn't even multiple projects. I
Yeah, I
don't know
don't know
what's
what's
here.
going on with
Go
them.
away. Go away, Ethereum markets. All right, let's go search over here.
Just type it and
Where's
see what happens.
okay? Oh, we got one. 0.27. Yeah, so I can grab a few of these. I will grab a couple of these. It's a good call, Hans.
I just want to say to the people joining now, I'm going to be coughing a lot. So just FYI.
Because you're disgusting.
Because I'm dying.
The next show will
I'll be
be
fine.
after the TGE snapshot, so that changes the game a bit. What is your prediction, Hans? Do you think the Jirasan floor is going to go up or down from that?
It theoretically should go up. I mean,
It should.
Redact is not your regular meme coin. It's not a meme coin.
It's not a meme coin. It's an
No.
actual utility coin that
Yeah.
will be used for for building things, especially some of the things that we're seeing on Kumu, right? So
Correct. Yeah.
I have a couple of posts on that, but yeah, let's take a look at that post here. So this is from Srini Goes. Why I am more bullish than ever on Jirasan and Redacted after Sean's AMA. He did an AMA for the first one in a while.
Mhm.
Again, I think it was like last week. But Sean, our founder at Jirasan, recently held an AMA that touched on a wide range of topics from tokenomics and delays to business strategy and community rewards. And let me just say, for like the size of the project that they are and how big PG Group is, like his transparency is admirable. Like he does not shy away from the tough decisions. Um, Han says up, but you will miss 2.5 redacted after snapshot. I thought the snapshot happened already, or maybe I guess because they moved the TGE, the snapshot will be taken again. Let me know, Hans, and maybe I'll just do it earlier. I'll do it today, and I can just record the process. That way, you'll know I ain't lying. As a longtime community member and holder, I
Mhm.
came away from it with a deeper respect for his maturity, foresight, and unshaken conviction in what the team is building. Honestly, I'm more bullish than ever, not just on the Jirasan team and Sean himself, but on the long-term potential of the RDAC token.
Yeah.
So yes, there was some FUD. One of the first things Sean addressed was the FUD around tokenomics and delays. Some of the
Mhm.
um, key opinion leaders and OG investors have expressed disappointment, feeling like they deserve better. And in a market where everything's bleeding, it would have been easy for the team to throw in the towel or give up the project, but they didn't. They're still here, building quietly and refusing to give in to the pressure. What hit home for me was Sean's reminder: some of us are salty we didn't exit at zero point 0.9 ETH, but we held for a reason. That was our call. So I think that is a good point. We saw it touching almost touch that 1 ETH floor price, and if you didn't sell, you didn't sell. I'm not here to shame anyone for selling, but if you held on to it because you thought it's going to go higher or you thought there's more value, then nothing should have changed that, right? Nothing's really changed the plan other than them just kind of fine tuning the economics of this. So Han says we'll be done again somewhere the next days. Okay, so I will get on that. One moment that really struck a chord, Sean jokingly said, we'll open 100 McDonald's franchises in India to get the revenue back into redacted token if required. Of course, he was joking, but the drive in his voice was real. You could feel his conviction, and that gives me confidence. So there's a lot going in here, but for someone who didn't listen to the AMA myself, this was a good read. And again, just kind of reinforces like,
Mhm.
there's something real happening here, something heavy is going to come out of this. And I think a bit of a trendsetter in terms of the utility of what RDAC is, and also the way it's going to help bridge Web 2 into Web 3 when you look at what Kumu is doing and Casey's involvement with pushing this as the coin for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of movements happening behind the doors, but yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I think that post is very well written, and I think that Sean's doing the right thing by communicating what he did.
Yeah.
Um, and again, like I'm fully invested in Redact and Jirasan, so um, hopefully it does really well. I mean, I think it will, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's different to me. It's something that's different. It's something that might change the game if everything goes the right way.
Yeah, I mean, if ETH is 1,800 right now and it's 0.27, it's $486 for each one. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like, to Han's point, it's probably better sitting in Jirasan than it is sitting in ETH on its own.
Yeah, well, if they do another snapshot, you'll get the drop. So
Yeah,
the RDAC drop, so you'll be fine.
I will work on that today. Today's the day. All right. I saw a few other interesting posts and some
Mhm.
themes happening on Twitter over the past few days. I thought maybe I'd share some of the less popular ones with you.
Sure.
as you know, we are not the major media outlets. We got the big guns in the space to take care of those things, but some of these things are interesting to me. This one was about pencil finance. Have you ever heard of pencil finance?
No.
Have you ever heard of the EDU chain?
Nope.
Me neither. So it's a blockchain focused around educational things. So here is a post from Pix on Chain, who's a Jirasan PFP.
Yeah, I know who he is. Good
Wait,
guy.
someone actually bought student loans on chain and made them investable. Pencil finance might be the weirdest and smartest real world asset I've seen in a minute. Lenders tokenize real student loans. Investors pick a tranche. I don't know how to say the word. Fixed versus high yield. Capital goes to the students. Repayments stream back transparently, and everyone wins.
Wow.
You're not farming cartoon tokens. You're funding real people, getting real yield backed by real world debt. So lending money on chain isn't a new concept. I think that's been
No,
around
it's
for
not. Yeah.
a long time. But I do like the idea of saying, like, here's a use case for student loans. And I do want to learn a little bit more about the EDU chain because that's what it's baked on.
Mhm.
I think I have another. Oh no, that was a tweet for it. But if you search for Pencil Finance, I think they're fairly new. Look, I mean, they joined April 2025. There's
Mhm.
nothing on YouTube about this. I couldn't really learn much more, but they do have some content on their site talking about it. Their website is just like a coming soon sort of thing. Join the waitlist. That's it. So nothing there yet, but I do like the concept and I like where it's going. And I do want to learn more about the EDU chain. Again, just from a use case, a real world asset use case like
Mhm.
that could be interesting. As somebody who suffered through student loans for many years, if there was a way to make that process better, more transparent, I am all for that.
So is this more about the transparency part of the loans or like?
I think it creates the transparency so you can see where your money is going to when you're making payments, and you can
Mhm.
when it talks about like investing into the people, like you're buying the loans, I don't know if you're looking at like what major that they have these loans taken out, or what college is it from, to kind of say what is the likelihood this
Yeah.
person is going to pay these things back or how quickly. So I think even that would be interesting, where you're trying to make a plea and say, "Hey, yeah, I have $100,000 of debt, but look, I got a job out of college already. I'm working on this. Like, this is what I have a degree in. This is my passion." Like, imagine each person pleading their case to say, "Yeah, invest in me, so that I can work on this." I think that could be an interesting concept.
No, yeah, definitely. For sure. 100%.
Uh,
Anything that provides transparency of where money's going,
yeah, it's
it's great.
better than what we have today.
You know what
So
would be cool?
tell me.
Transparency for charities.
Transparency
'Cause
for
you
charities. Yeah,
never know where that money's going at
that's
all.
true.
Like
That
zero.
was crypto's claim from the beginning, right? Like that was one of the earliest claims, was like, you donate money to the Red Cross right now, you don't know where it's going. Not just the Red Cross, a
Yeah.
number of charities, to your point. The money, there's so much money that gets, dropped along the way for other administrative fees. Like
Mhm.
you don't know where it's all going.
Like
But
I used to give a lot of money out to like charities and stuff like that, but then I stopped because I don't know where the money's going. I remember reading something about like it never gets to the destination where you're sending it to.
yeah, I heard that a very small percentage of your
Yeah.
donation makes its
Like
way
if
there.
you donate $1, they'll probably get like a penny out of it. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like it just that doesn't make sense to me. So where's the
yeah,
rest of the 99 cents going to?
yeah.
Whose pocket?
I mean, part of that was like transaction fees. You're just the process of sending money costs
I don't
money.
even think it's yeah, well, that too, but I don't think it's really that. I think it's going into somebody else's pocket or the people that are working there, or the people that are running it. I don't know.
Yeah,
You just never know with these things. I just wish there was more transparency with it.
I agree.
And this is why some people that are like, the rich of the rich, they usually start their own thing because they're afraid of the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So I saw these two threads, or these two posts that I was like, this kind of sound like the same thing. But this one says, this is from the CEO of Clanosaurus, which
Mhm.
is, a highly successful project based on Solana. They're launching another project on the Sui network, or the Sui chain. But this one reads, NFTs aren't dead. They just haven't evolved yet. And then he kind of talks about NFTs. But then I have this other post here, which says NFTs aren't dead. They just needed a purpose. And it's similar to the Clanosaurus thing, but it's this article on Forbes, just
Mhm.
kind of talking about the ups and downs of NFTs and what's changed. So I'd like to think that the sentiment is changing. Joff says, not sure how it's done in the US, but UK charities are required to publish full accounts of where money is spent. So, Joff, I think that there's probably an obligation here as well in the US, but they can just say we had to
It's not
take,
yeah,
45 cents to go to this and,
mhm.
12 cents to go to this. Like, just less money is making its way there. Whereas I think when you can cut out a lot of the middleman and the administrative part with crypto, it's better. And in some ways, you can get it more directly into the hands of the people in need. Now, it's not always easy to qualify who needs this money, right? If some person just
Mhm.
says, "Yeah, I was in a hurricane disaster area, send me money," it's like, okay, well, how do I really know? But I think the crypto allows more transparency, and reduces the funnel of where it has to travel through before it gets to somebody's hands in a useful manner. So let's look at this one here from Andrew. So NFTs aren't dead. So I guess even just to ask you, do you feel like there's a sentiment changing in NFTs? Do you feel like we were in this bad place where it was just kind of dead for a while and
Mhm.
now it's like people feel revitalized about it? Or what's your sentiment on the space?
Yeah, no, I feel like it's revitalized, right? Again, like it's starting to pick up again. Um, I for people that are within the NFT world, like you and I, right? It's a little different because we see it from the inside out, right? So we never see it from the outside in. So people that are seeing it from the outside in, sometimes it could be more what's the word I'm looking for? It could have a different look, right? Like for example, it could be for them, it could be more like that industry's dead. Whether for us from the inside seeing like all the growth, for example, like with Ape Chain and what's happening right
Yeah.
within that ecosystem, and even OpenSea changing their structure and how they did things with your new site. Things are changing, and you can see that. And I think that seeing that gives me the view that we are moving in the right direction, right? And that things are being revitalized again. Now, again, this information needs to get to the people that are out there that are looking from the outside in and seeing how the space moves. So I think that we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. I think we are moving in the right direction. I do think we're starting to step outside of the bounds of just traditional art
Yeah,
PFPs, which
yeah.
is kind of where, for the most part, things started or where it got really big in 2020 and
Hmm.
2021. I think seeing more utility is where we're headed to, and part of that is the technology is evolving to be more
Right.
competitive. You need to do something a little differently. So I like that we're maybe in this growth period where we're just trying where there's new things coming. You know, you look at some of the promises that were made 3 years ago, or maybe even 4 or 5 years ago at this
Hmm.
point, like, with the roadmaps and all the metaverses, like,
Roadmaps are pretty much done with. Like nobody uses
I
roadmap.
know. But it's like, we were promised these things and
Yeah.
no surprise, most of them didn't happen. But I think it was people being a little too excited and ambitious for what the cost of those things would be. And I think the
Right.
cost is coming down now. And I think the technology is growing
Well,
faster.
you remember when we first started, we had like this huge roadmap, and I'm like, nah, I don't think that's gonna
Yeah.
work for us.
Right. We
Right?
should
Because
have had a cartoon show by now, right?
yeah, because the thing, the thing shoot, it's an ever evolving technology, so you just don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, right? That's how fast things change in this industry. Then again, I know you mentioned utility, but I also feel as an artist, I also feel like NFTs are changing as part of like the view of the art part of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't think it's just utility anymore either. I think that people are seeing it for the value of the art too at some point now.
Yeah, and these two posts, like this one that says NFTs aren't dead, they just haven't evolved yet, and the other one I just showed you, they're mostly talking about art-based NFTs or like the image, not a music NFT or some other financial NFT, purpose where you can
Purpose, yeah.
store something in an NFT or it gives you some other
So
utility.
real quick, let me get back to the art view of it, right? So a couple days ago, somebody DM me, which actually made me really happy, and I'm probably gonna talk to them again and share it, what he said, right? But somebody bought one of the Unvoiced Echoes collection
Okay.
thing, and he sent me like this full story as to why that artwork resonated with him so much, and it helped him through whatever he was going through that particular day or that
Yeah.
week, or whatever he was going through that month, right? And this is all about the art. It has nothing to do with utility or anything like that. It's just somebody looked at my drawing and moved them and felt something, and that's what art should do, right? That's what art's for. But my point is that it's not about like, okay, let me buy this and I'm gonna get this from it, or I'm going to get this ticket or utility from it, or whatever the case. It's
Yeah.
just about the art and how it moves someone's feelings. And I think that that's important in the NFT world because we don't have that. When people buy art, if you think about it, when people buy this artworks, right, from like the 1800s to the 1900s, whatever, right at the beginning, it's a move. It's something that you like. It's a feeling,
Right. You weren't promised like an AMA
right?
with the
No,
with the painter.
it's an investment. Yeah, for sure, it's an investment, right? I think that would be the utility of it. That one of those true artworks outside in canvas, it's an investment for later on, right?
Yeah.
But I think in the NFT world, we're moving into that digital world where um, the art is more presentable as a feeling of what it should be. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what drew people in for the first part, and
Mhm.
now we're realizing that there's more to it
Well,
there.
the technology behind it, yeah, the technology behind it has the ability to let you do all sorts of things, like millions of things, right? As opposed to like a painting on canvas, there's nothing you could do with it but hang it in your wall. But the not the crypto technology, the technology behind NFTs, which is obviously the same as crypto. But my point is that there's so much you could do with it, right? As opposed to just having a canvas on your wall.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I wasn't going to touch on too much because I don't know all the details, but this was probably one of the bigger pieces of news from the past few days, and this had to
Mhm.
do with a change in Apple's policies as it pertains to even NFTs specifically. But it has to
Right,
do with that, that big percentage that they take from mobile purchases or
yeah.
purchases made through through the App Store. And I think what you were just saying kind of makes me think about this in the sense that are the bigger companies who could help move the space forward shying away because of some of these regulations that are still out there? And if somebody were to say, well, why would we develop an app when Apple's going to take 30% of all of our
Right.
sales for an NFT? So why would we do that? But now you get this change here. Um, and does that open the landscape a little bit more for some other developers or someone who was, just kind of saying, yeah, we could do this, but it's not worth it. But now if it does become worth it, we should move forward with a project or with a
That's the
new
change.
tool. I mean, even OpenSea can start to sell through their app now, whereas I think they couldn't
Mhm.
before on iOS. So I think these sort of movements help shift in the right direction and again take it beyond just art. But I don't think the value in the art will ever go away or change. I think people get that emotional connection to the art,
Mhm.
whether it's whether it's pixel art or super detailed hand drawn like unvoiced echoes, or as cute and cuddly as a pudgy penguin and a Claynosaurus.
Right. So what was the update?
So this updates NFTs, crypto payments now allowed in iOS apps. The way it's listed here is apps on the United States storefront are not prohibited from including buttons, external links, or other calls to action when allowing users to browse NFT collections owned by others. No prohibition on an app including buttons, external links, or other calls to actions, and no entitlement is required to do so. So I don't know if there's a further breakdown here, but does this mean sell and buy buttons on native app for NFT, or we're just allowed a CTA that redirects to the browser? And they're saying that I think the native buttons are now allowed. So I think you might be able to sell through the app without that fee, without Apple taking the 30% fee. So, like I said, I don't want to go too much into it because I don't know all the details, and I think it's more than just this surface level here. But I think this is one of those changes that becomes important. When you look down the road of where we are in 3 years from now, this is probably one of those gateways that says, "Hey, we're where we are now because of that change," or something like that. Um, Yeah. There's been a lot of news about Ripple lately, but I think maybe we'll get into that on another show where we can spend more time talking about Ripple because I think there's some cool things happening there. I don't know if you saw that they made like a $20 billion offer to buy Circle. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be pretty crazy if they acquired Circle for the immense utility that they offer and would then be able to provide. So I want us to dive a little deeper into that because we're not just an NFT show. We also talk about some crypto things. And you and I, the very first crypto conversation we ever had was about XRP. If you remember that, we were in your old apartment. I think it was a Christmas holiday or something. We were talking about XRP when it was really starting to make that first climb back in I don't know, what was that? 2017, that December into January. So I want us to dive a little bit more into Ripple, which we'll save for our next Rebel Ants radio show. Should we get to the battle?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we're going to move forward with battle number 3, which is still part of round 1. And let's pull up our charts so people can see where we're at. Rebel Ants Radio. So, if you remember on the last episode when we did our last battle, I had downloaded this song that I thought would be the good background song, but it was like the free version. So it had this, this overvoiced or this overlaid voice of saying like, artlist.io, you're listening to a free sample, something like that. And I didn't realize it was going to do that because when you listen to it on the site, it doesn't do that. So I downloaded, I went to Apple Music, the iTunes store, and I downloaded this song for $1. Now, Miguel, when was the last time you downloaded a song from the Apple iTunes store?
I haven't in a while.
Yeah. I'm curious to our 81 viewers here. When was the last time you downloaded or paid for music from the Apple iTunes store? Please
I have not.
let me know when you've purchased an individual song. Maybe you have the monthly, membership. I've had Spotify for I don't know, probably almost 15 years now. But I was like, oh my God, I'm buying a song from the Apple iTunes store. So we have this background music. So just to zoom in onto where we are today. So we did 2 battles already under round 1, which was $50 prize pool per battle. So we're going to do the Ashigaru versus the Kenshi. And then we're going to move into $75 battles. Now you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 battles there. And those 4 will lead us into our semifinals, which will be $150 prize pool per battle. And then we'll move into round 4, our last and final battle, which will be $250 split. So again, if you're holding any of the winning ones, you could just keep on getting prizes as you carry them forward. So whoever wins today will face the Warriors, but our next battle after today we'll go back up to the top, the Woku versus the Samurai. And this will be Samurai's second chance at a win. So think about that as you acquire and build up your army, but we are going to move forward with our Ashigaru versus Kenshi. And let's take a look at our portal. So let's put in these percentages into the chat GPT. We've got Ashigaru with 35.82%, 35.82% chance to win. And we've got the Kenshi at 64.18, Kenshi at 64.18. Okay. Now let's also get our music pumping. Oh yeah. You hear it?
I hear it.
Now this is a paid song, okay? I paid a lot of money for this song. I paid $1. All right, the other thing we want to do, so we'll let this roll and then we'll cover up the response as we go. Now you wanted to hide us, right? We want to see if we can zoom in on this. Zoom in. Zoom in. I think if DJP was here, he would tell me to zoom in. How much more can we zoom in? Okay, I think we're good here, and then we'll cover up with that. So hold on, let me just stop sharing for 1 second, and we'll share the entire screen. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
Are you going to read for me?
Sure. You want me to go all over it?
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Get me started.
No, you read it. Go ahead. I can't really talk. Jerk.
All right, let me move us below the background. That's not what I want. There we go. All right. Battle number 3, round 1. Ashigaru versus Kenshi. Two gangs are fighting. The first gang, the Ashigaru, has a 35.82% chance to win, and the second gang, the Kenshi, has a 64.18% chance to win. Simulate the outcome one time and list the results by telling a 4-paragraph story. Only give me one paragraph at a time, and I will tell you when to give the next paragraph. Under a blood-orange sky, the dusty back streets Kamigawa crackled with tension. The Ashigaru, clad in weathered armor and bearing the marks of countless turf wars, gathered beneath the rusted torii gate that marked their territory. There were fewer in number, but each bore grim resolve, eyes hardened from years of survival against the odds. Across the square, the Kenshi stood poised in crisp, dark uniforms, katana hilts gleaming in the fading sunlight. They outnumbered their rivals, their discipline evident in their perfect formation, but tonight, numbers would not be enough. Woo! Where do we think this is going?
Numbers would not be enough.
Numbers will not be enough.
Interesting.
Right. Oh, you know what? I can't.
What are you doing?
I can't make it full screen. Hold on.
You were in full screen.
Yeah, but I can't make it full screen, so I'm going to drag this over.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And the last paragraph, though, you don't have to like do it now.
I know. Just shut up.
I don't know why I love this shit so much.
Okay. As the drums of war pounded from hidden rooftops, the Ashigaru surged forward with a primal roar. Catching the Kenshi slightly off guard, their leader, Jiro, lunged ahead, blurred with steel and fury, carving a path straight through the enemy's front line. The Ashigaru moved like cornered wolves, striking with ferocious precision, each blow fueled by desperation and loyalty. The Kenshi faltered momentarily, their formation bending but not breaking as their commander, Sato, barked orders to regroup. Sparks flew where blades met, and the air was thick with dust and the scent of blood. Woo-hoo!
This is actually really good.
Regaining their footing, the Kenshi retaliated with terrifying coordination. Sato's command snapped the scattered units back into disciplined phalanxes. I don't know what that is. Their blades moving like synchronized lightning. One by one, the Ashigaru were pushed back, their momentum faltering under the weight of the Kenshi's superior training and numbers. Jiro fought like a demon, cutting down 3 men in a blur.
Ooh!
And a deep gash across his shoulder began to swell him. Around him, his warriors fell, some defiant to the end, others crumpling silently. The square was becoming a trap, and the Ashigaru were being drawn into it. Woo!
Interesting stuff.
Paragraphs, right? All right. Last paragraph, please. With a final thunderous cry, Jiro rallied the last of his fighters for a desperate charge, hoping to break
man.
line one last time. But Kenshi, unwavering, closed ranks and met the onslaught with brutal efficiency. Jiro was the last to fall, kneeling in the dust as Sato approached, their eyes locking for a fleeting moment of mutual respect. The square grew quiet, but for the wind rustling, torn banners, and the moans of the wounded. As the Ashigaru had fought valiantly, but the knights belonged to the Kenshi. Their victory carved into the stones of Kamigawa by steel and sacrifice. Woo!
Kenshi's the winner.
Kenshi, the winner. That was an intense battle.
Huh?
Intense battle.
That was really good.
That was intense.
That was really good.
I don't see any comments. Is anyone listening? Is anyone watching? Did anyone win?
Everybody's in suspense right now.
I hope I didn't screw up the audio with the.
No, we really need to get the AI to read it so that.
I know. I was looking at that website that was suggested by 11 Labs, but again, I don't think they do that. So we will keep searching, and I think season 2 of our battles are going to really.
Well, season 2 is going to be more interactive, so it'll be a lot different.
I don't know if that's true.
I believe that's true. I'll make it happen.
All right, so we are going to go back and look at everyone who submitted and registered for the Kenshi, and whatever your percentage was of that, 60 what percent? 64%, whatever your percentage was of that amount is what the prize distribution will be for you of the $50 prize pool. And again, next time we do this, we're looking at $75 prize pool, zero entry cost. It's free opportunity to win money.
Free, free, free.
Keep stacking those ants so that you can have a bigger percentage, or you know, higher stakes, higher rewards. And we look forward to giving away more of first night's money.
Sure.
Sure.
I need to find a way to make money at this point.
We're not there yet, man.
No, I'm not there yet. It's fine.
We got 11 ETH sitting in our wallet, untouched. But you know how many Jiras that would buy? Ooh.
Maybe we should buy a bunch of Jiras.
Maybe we have a ton of soul in that tip jar, and we could buy.
Yeah, we haven't touched that. I don't know what the plan is. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, listen, if anybody wants to tip us in, oh, that's not the right one. That's embarrassing. If anybody wants to tip us in Soul, scan this QR code, copy that wallet address into another place wherever you send Soul from, and then take all these extra steps. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right. Having said that, battle number 3 in the books. A little better than the last time, which was better than the last time. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, I think once we get the AI to read it, and then once we put some visuals, it'll be really good.
I will also just share that the Morning Ape show just started, which is hosted by Tom over Chaplain. So let me pull that up so we can show you where you should be heading to next. And I think Space Kitty just tweeted about it. Let's see. I'm going to tune into that as soon as we wrap up here. So let me do a little.
Yeah, I'm going to join too.
Yeah, I've got some real work to do, but I figure we should. Here we go. No, that's not it.
Great show. I'm a little rusty.
Yeah, you are.
We're a little rusty. We only had 82 people watching, as opposed to our.
I'm not rusty. You're rusty.
200-300 people, but that's fine. And we will commence again.
Okay, let's look for Tom over Chaplain. Tom over Chaplain. Okay, so Tom is speaking in the Morning Ape. So he is live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Give him a listen. Head over there because we are going to head over there. But we appreciate everyone joining us. We had Joff with us. We had Hans with us. We had Retro. We had Jilly. Who else did we have? I think that was it for this morning.
Yeah.
All good. We're happy to get back on the horse and keep us moving along, because the sooner we finish season 1 battles, the sooner we can move into season 2 and continue to build and evolve this thing.
That's right. All righty.
Almighty. Having said that, have a great week. We will talk to you all soon. Peace the F out.
Week, everybody. Peace out.
Bye.
Peace.